Hey, welcome back, Veteran Nation fans and college football fans. And this is this week, November 22nd's uh, first, or November 22nd's college football picks. And I've been going through ever since I really started publishing these because I really wasn't keeping track beforehand. But last week, let's see, I did pretty good last week, 26 and 22. So if I would have put big money on it, I possibly could have won, a couple hundred or a couple thousands of dollars. Um, I don't, while I will show you my picks, I'm not going to tell you what I'm betting, where I'm betting, anything like that. Uh, all of the, all of my picks are not ones that I actually bet. I will give you my picks for them where I think it's going to go, but I don't actually bet on all of these games. Um, and I try to do a good job of telling you guys if it's going to be a parlay or anything, if it's a game I do have interest in. Um, the other thing is I am for the year since I started keeping track, 88 and 91. So not a bad, not a bad place to be. So let's get into this week's picks. Um, Samford and Texas A&M. Uh, Samford is being given 59 and a half. Texas A&M taking away 55 and a half. I probably would not bet on this game. I think Texas A&M will win. I don't think by that much. So I would take the 59 and a half points for Samford. I think it'll be a big game. But again, once they get over 40, then, A&M would be smart to say, hey, we're going to put in our third string. Let's give those guys some reps. That would be incredibly smart. And then you're not running up the score as much. Um, and I don't see any benefit in running up the score this late in the season. Miami favored by 49 and a half over Virginia Tech, who's only being given 17 and a half. 49 and a half, no. 17 and a half, yeah, I would take that. I would take that. Oh, they're saying the over is 49 and a half. Are they not giving the 17 and a half there? Oh, they are giving, they're taking away 17 and a half. I'm sorry. I was reading that wrong. Just the way it copied in here. So yeah, I that's a lot of points. Virginia Tech has struggled. Uh, I could see that going either way. 17 and a half points is quite a bit. I think Virginia Tech, I think they're just going to come to play. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. SMU favored 2.5 over Louisville. Louisville, I believe they lost last week. I do like SMU. I think they'll cover that. 2.5 isn't a lot of points. The good thing about that is you're not sweating most of the game. Let's see, Missouri and Oklahoma. So Missouri is, or I'm sorry, Oklahoma's favored by 6.5. Yeah, I think Oklahoma covers that easily. Missouri has struggled a little bit. Um, yeah, I think Oklahoma's just everything is firing for them right now. Minnesota Northwestern. Northwestern coming off a really great game over Michigan where they lost. They just don't have offense. If they would have had some type of real offensive threat, and Michigan's got a good defense, that was the only reason they eked out that game. I cannot believe Michigan actually carried their kicker off the field. It's like, I remember days where Michigan was expected to beat Northwestern. Uh, Northwestern by 3.5. Yeah, I think this game actually goes into overtime. Whether they win by touchdown or not, you know, we'll see. Kansas and Iowa State. Iowa State is favored by 3.5. I've liked Kansas all year. They came out hot. They've kind of fizzled a little bit, but I think they do a good job. Rutgers, Ohio State. This is a 30.5 point game, or I'm sorry, 32 is what we're seeing here. Um, I normally don't like these big scores. I'll take Ohio State at 32. If you ask me, I would how much they'd win by. I'd say 35. So it's kind of right there. This one I understand though if you don't want to put anything on that game. Totally get it. Wake Forest favored over Delaware. Yeah, going with the favorite on that one. Tulsa and Army. Army favored 9.5. I think that's a little bit much. I'm gonna take Tulsa. Give me those 10 points. I'm taking Tulsa. Georgia, Charlotte. As I've always said, I hate when the SEC does this. They schedule these FCS teams late in the year. It's just a way to allow your team to recover from injuries. I don't like it as a policy. I don't think you should be allowed to play an FCS team. I I really don't think this late in the year you should be playing a group of five team. So um, I don't like betting on this, but Georgia's going to win. Whether it's 45.5 is the question. I think that's going to be easy for them. Um, I hate that game. I hate everything about it. JMU versus Washington State. JMU, they're 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 showing lots of signs of life. Former FCS team. They won the FCS national championship not long ago. What was that? 5 6 years ago, and they're hot right now. So 14 points could be a lot, but I'm going to take JMU. It's called gambling. ODU and Georgia Southern. ODU is picked by 10.5. I'll tell you, I don't like this game. I'll take ODU just because that's where the casinos think they're going. It's always smart if you can go with the casinos. It's always smart too. Uh, but yeah, coming out of trying to win by 10, I think in this game is going to be tough. So ODU. Baylor, Arizona. Arizona's favored by 4.5. Um, you know, I'm going to go with Baylor. I think Baylor's hungry. They've struggled a little bit, but I think they're hungry. I think they want to. They I think they can come into a game like this and do well. Uh, Eastern Illinois, Alabama. Again, another one of these FCS teams. They do it every single year. They're just trying to pad everything for the. You know what? You know what? I'm not gonna do a pick on that one. Mercer, Auburn. I'm not gonna do a pick on that. Um, I think that's my protest. I think it's ridiculous. The SEC talks about how tough it is, and then they schedule these joke teams in November. Stop doing that. You want me to take you seriously? Stop doing that. I know what the fuck you're doing. It just pisses me off. It's just, yeah, just absolutely ridiculous. Um, let's see. Ball State, Toledo. They're at Toledo, 22 points. I'm sorry, Missouri, Kennesaw. Uh, Kennesaw State is favored by 4 points. I can see that. I can see that. I'll take I'll take Kennesaw. Ball State, Toledo. Toledo favored by 22. They're at home. Toledo always plays good at home. Has one of the best winning percentages at home of any FBS team. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go with Toledo. Ball State's good though. Like, or Ball State has has been a spoiler to people already this year, and we've seen that here. And here's the other thing: Ball State is one of those teams that when you don't expect them to show up to play, they show up to play. I won one game earlier this year because of that mentality with Ball State. Nevada, Wyoming. Wyoming is favored by 10. It's at Wyoming. It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold up in the mountains. I'm going to take it. Marshall, App State. Marshall's favored by 4.5, but they're at App State. But you know what? I like Marshall. They played tough for me every time I've picked them, so I'm gonna stick with who brought me. Uh, UConn, FAU. UConn is favored by 7.5. I think FAU can. It's at FAU. I think they can get within that 7.5. I really think they can. I think UConn wins. Um, South Florida, UAB. UAB is favored, or South Florida's favored 18.5. Uh, yeah, they had that one bad loss, but I think they're back. It's always, I don't mind a loss. It's how you respond to the loss. That's what I look so many times. Liberty, Louisiana Tech, 1.5 points. This is 50-50. I think Liberty. I'm taking Liberty. They're playing at Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech is a tough place to play. They're in Baton Rouge. New Mexico State, UTEP. UTEP favored by 2.5. Yeah, I think UTEP wins. Sam Houston, Middle Tennessee. Tennessee is favored by 4.5. Sam Houston did win me one. Was it last week? It was either last week or the week before, but I'm going to go with Middle Tennessee. They're at home. Syracuse, Notre Dame, 34.5. I do not like this score. I will say this. I think Notre Dame is the number 2 team in the country right now. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for it because they have 2 losses. But if Indiana should be number 2 because they're undefeated. The same thing with Texas. If you back up Indiana 2 there, Texas A&M. But I'll tell you, if you were to rank me as to who's playing the best type of ball right now, Notre Dame is my number 2. I think they're winning games they're supposed to in the way they're supposed to, and I'm not always seeing that out of the other teams. Like in Indiana, yet they've won some great games, but yeah, like they should be dominant quarter to quarter, and I'm not always seeing that. But Notre Dame is doing exactly what I expect. So you know what? I would take that risk. I would give up 34 points. If Notre Dame wins, or if I don't win this, it's solely because Notre Dame got like 28, 30 points and was like, yeah, we don't have to make a statement. But a 28, 30 point victory would absolutely be more than enough for me to say, yeah, they're still playing at the caliber that I expect. East Carolina and Texas San Antonio. They're at Texas San Antonio, only 4.5 points giving up. Yeah, I'll take that. I think that's a field goal game. Jacksonville State, FIU. FIU is well, right here it's saying that they're giving up. FIU is giving up 1.5 points. I would take that. They're playing at home. Kentucky Vanderbilt, 7.5 point game. I think Vanderbilt wins like easily. I really do. I know they've stumbled, but again, it's how you respond. Arkansas, Texas. I'm going Texas. I think this is a 10-point game. I'll give up 8.5 points. Arkansas is not a bad team though, and I don't want people to think that. Like, if this game ends up closer, I would not be surprised. And I'll say this about Texas: Archie Manning, he's getting there. He's getting more and more comfortable every week. People expected a lot out of him, but he's a freshman. He's gonna make mistakes, but I'll tell you, he's starting to make less and less mistakes. He, I'm seeing him develop as a quarterback. Michigan State and Iowa. Iowa is favored by 15.5. I think that's just too many points. I think that's a 10-point game. I'm going to go with Michigan State. Southern Miss, Southern Alabama. Southern Miss. It says 3 points here, but 1.5. Really, it's a 50-50 game. I'm going Southern Miss. USC at Oregon. Oregon favored by 14.5. Oregon has had a couple games where they haven't covered, but you know what? I'm going to go with Oregon. I think I think I don't think they like USC, and I think this is a game that they want to win big. Duke, North Carolina. Duke's been playing some good ball. North Carolina, they're very spotty. 6.5 points, I think, is too much. I think Belichick keeps his boys close, so I'm going to take North Carolina. Tulane, Temple. Tulane is favored by 7.5. Yeah, I think they could do that. I'm gonna go with Tulane. Georgia State versus Troy. This is a 9.5 point game. That's about right. I think this is a 10-point game. I would take Georgia State only because I do think this is a 10-point game. So I would, because if I take Troy, it's 9.5, but I think it'll be 10. And if I'm wrong, or if I'm right, there's a chance of a tie here, so I'll push my money. So if Troy were down here 10, I'd be taking Troy, but yeah, I think it will be a 10-point game. So yeah, I know people are like, well, if you take Troy at 9.5, you'll win. Yeah, but I'd rather have the option of a tie on the table. That's my thinking with that. Kansas State, Utah. I think Utah wins. They're saying 50-50. I think Utah wins that game. But yeah, not taking bets on it. Michigan versus Maryland. Michigan is favored by 14. I'm taking Maryland. Michigan should have destroyed Northwestern. Northwestern did not have much offense, and they struggled. And on paper, Northwestern, Maryland, not a ton of differences. So, yeah, I think Maryland can keep that close. And plus, I think Michigan's looking ahead to Ohio State. I don't think they're focused on Maryland. Um, UCF, Oklahoma State. I think UCF can win that one, no problem. 14 points, yeah, I think that. Uh, TCU, Houston, 1.5 point game. I'm taking TCU. Uh, Houston's good. Houston is a good team. I do like them. I just think I think TCU is hungry. Coastal Carolina, South Carolina, 24 points. I'm going to go with Coastal Carolina. Here's why. I think South Carolina handily wins that game. I don't think South Carolina, even last week, they show us flashes of brilliance and then they collapse. Um, they have they are so close to being one of the top programs in the SEC, and they're just not finishing. And I don't think they finish against Coastal Carolina. I think they make dumb mistakes at key moments, and I think that's going to continue. I hope they don't, but I think they will. Clemson and Furman again. This is ridiculous. This game should not be happening in November. Dude, Clemson thinks it's an SEC team and does the same shit. Stop it. Texas State, UL Monroe. At Texas State, it's 20-point spread. Okay. I know this says 17.5, but it's 20-point spread. You know what? I think UL Monroe can cover that. There we go. Nebraska, Penn State, 7.5 points. It's at Penn State. Penn State has shown they do have the team that we thought they could early in the year. I don't know why those coaching staff can't just get up for those big games. This is not a big game, so I think they'll be able to beat Nebraska handily. Um, I think that's a 10-point game. Pittsburgh, Georgia, 2.5 points. Pittsburgh, Georgia Tech. Sorry. I think Pittsburgh, 2.5 points. Yeah, I think that's a 3-point game. But I think Pittsburgh just gets a couple breaks. Colorado State, Boise, 17.5. I am taking Colorado State. That's a lot of points. I've seen Boise State lose some dumb games. I think they'll win, but 17.5 points. Yeah, I'm going to take Colorado State to give me the 17.5 and let you beat me. Air Force, New Mexico, 3.5 points. You know what? I think Air Force can pull that one out. New Mexico's been playing good, but again, I think that's a 3-point game. You're giving me 3.5 points. Yeah, I'll take it. Illinois, Wisconsin. Illinois is favored by 8.5. They're coming off a big win. Yeah, I'm going Illinois. California, Stanford, 3.5 points. Ooh, this is a rivalry. Yeah, I'm gonna go Cal. I'll give up 3.5. This would probably be one I would say if I lose, it's this one. Tennessee, Florida, dude, Florida, they're gonna come to play. 3 points? No, that is not going to be a 3-point game. Tennessee has consistently underperformed. Florida has shown flashes of brilliance, but Tennessee. I'm gambling that Tennessee is going to underperform again. Rice, North Texas. Uh, 17 and a half. That's a lot of points. I'm taking Rice. Give me those points. LSU, Kentucky. Ooh, or Western Kentucky. Sorry. 22 and a half. Again, LSU. Very undisciplined team. I'm going to go with Western Kentucky. Um, and Lane Kiffin going to LSU, I think, is the stupidest move. Stupidest move. Why do these SEC teams refuse to look outside of the SEC for new coaches? Just ridiculous. Arizona State, Colorado. Arizona State favorite. I think they can win that 4.5 points. That's very doable. BYU, Cincinnati, 3.5 points. Um, this one's tough. Okay, BYU giving up 2.5. Cincinnati being given 3. I'm gonna take Cincinnati again just because of the tie factor here. Uh, Utah State, Fresno, 2.5 points. I'm going Fresno. UCLA, Washington. Yeah, I think Washington wins by 10.5. I think that happens. So there we go. San Jose State, San Diego State. San Diego State is giving up 11.5. San Jose is getting 11.5. They're at San Diego State, though. I think they can win 2 touchdowns. I think they can win. So there we go, folks. There are my picks for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.